What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Danny, and today we're going to be talking about 3 scenarios I think could happen with the Big 12. If you guys haven't heard yet, Oklahoma and Texas are going to be leaving the Big 12 for the SEC. We don't know yet if it's going to be this year or not, because each team will have to pay $75 to $80 million to leave the Big 12 now, because they're under contract until 2024. But this will happen at the latest 2024 when their contract runs out with the Big 12. So I have 3 scenarios on what could happen with the Big 12, what could happen to the remaining teams in the Big 12 where I think they might land. So yeah, let's get right into it. I just want to say subscribe if you guys are new, leave a like if you enjoy. Lots of college football, NFL, college basketball content coming. And I'm also going to be live on Twitch tomorrow night at Dannyology, 2 Ys at the end. So I'll link that down below. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Scenario 1. This one I think is probably the most realistic out of the 3. Maybe scenario 3 might be more realistic. I don't know. None of my scenarios are like big rumors going around as far as I know. These are just things I've thought of that I wanted to share and get you guys' opinion on. So this is scenario 1. The Big 12 just goes out. All the teams are trying to get into new conferences for this scenario. So the ACC, they have 15 teams now. They pick up West Virginia, and then bam, they have 16 teams. And that's all I have join the ACC, because with Texas and Oklahoma, the SEC will have 16 teams now. So they both have 16. And then I have the Big 10. They have 14 teams right now. I have them picking up Kansas and Iowa State. And that could work. I mean, I forgot to talk about the West Virginia joining the ACC. It makes sense. They're on that East Coast line, right there by all the teams. They bring back rivalries with Pitt, Syracuse, Virginia Tech. It would be just a great fit. I mean, I feel like that's where they belong if they're going to leave the Big 12. And then for the Big 10, I have them picking up Kansas and Iowa State. I think this would be good pickups for the Big 10. I mean, especially for basketball. You pick up Kansas, it's one of the biggest basketball schools in the country. And then Iowa State, you already have that rivalry there with Iowa, the in-state. They play each other every year anyway, so that would be good. And then that puts them at 16 teams. So you have the Big 10, ACC, and SEC all at 16 teams here now. And I have this map pulled up so you guys can kind of get a visual of what I'm trying to put together here. And then you have the Pac12, and this is the big one. I have Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Baylor's not on here for some reason, but Baylor. So 4 teams. The Pac-12 has 12 teams now. That puts them at 16 teams also. So I have Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Baylor. Oh, there's Baylor. Joining the Pac-12. So that puts all the remaining 4 conferences at 16 teams. You have a lot of kind of like the Midwest area joining the West. I mean, that's where I had to put them. And I could see it happening. I think it could. But that, of course, leaves one more team for this scenario. TCU. Where do they go? And my prediction would be the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. They'd be playing teams like Houston, SMU. They'd be going all the way up towards like Cincinnati and teams like that. UConn. But I mean, the AAC is all over the place. They'd be playing Memphis. That's probably the best conference that's not a Power 5, if you want my opinion. So, and they'd have some teams that's in that area. So for that scenario, TCU kind of gets left out of the Power 5 there, so that wouldn't be no good. You could just put them in with the Pac-12 also, but they'd have 17 teams. But for this scenario, TCU is the odd one out here, and they have to join the AAC. But I have two more scenarios. So this second scenario, I'm calling it the Super Conference scenario. And this is where each conference is going to have, well, the ACC, SEC, and the Big 10 are going to have 18 teams. So 2 divisions of 9 teams probably. The winner of each division in the conference meets in the conference championship. Just an idea. And then the Pac-12 will have 16. So this is the scenario. For the ACC, they get Notre Dame, West Virginia, and Central Florida, UCF. So that puts them at 18 teams. And you could really switch out UCF with Cincinnati, UConn, Memphis would work for the ACC. But for this scenario, I have the ACC picking up Notre Dame, West Virginia, and Central Florida. And then for the SEC, obviously they're picking up Texas and Oklahoma. That puts them at 16. And then I also have them picking up Oklahoma State and Baylor. So that puts them at 18 teams as well. And then for the Big 10, I have them picking up Kansas State and Kansas and Iowa State. Is Iowa State not on? I guess that's Iowa State. Iowa State, Kansas State, and Kansas. That puts them at 17. And then I also have them picking up Cincinnati. Who's Cincinnati, very good basketball school, and even had a very good season in football this year too. They went to a big bowl game this year for football. Was it the Sugar Bowl? But versus Georgia, and it was a good game. That was a really good game. One of my favorite bowl games this year. So they pick up Cincinnati. I mean, it makes sense to me. That puts them at 18. And then I have the Pac-12 picking up TCU, Texas Tech, and then BYU and Boise State. So then you get, four new Power 5 conference teams in Boise State, BYU, Cincinnati, and Central Florida. I mean, and then you could even replace, I'm sure teams like Memphis, UConn, teams like that, they'll be trying to get into a Power 5 conference also. So yeah, that's kind of like my second scenario. It's kind of a super conference scenario. Let me know what you guys think of that one. And then for my final scenario, this would be Texas and Oklahoma leave the Big 12. All the remaining 8 teams stay in the Big 12, and the Big 12 just adds some new teams. So in this one, I have them adding Memphis, Tulsa, SMU, and Houston. They're all around that area of the Midwest. It makes sense. You still have West Virginia over here by themselves, but it was like that originally anyway. That puts you at 12 teams instead of 8. And you could replace some of these teams if you wanted to. I mean, if they wanted to add a BYU, they probably could. If they wanted to add a Cincinnati, they could. I mean, they could really add. It really doesn't matter. I tried to keep it around like the Midwest area, like Memphis, Houston, SMU, Tulsa. Those are the 4 teams I had added in this scenario, but you could really add anyone that wanted to join. I'm sure the Big 12 would be pretty desperate at this point. I mean, the Big 12, it's not going to be looked at as good of a conference with Oklahoma and Texas gone, but this at least keeps it together. If they were to leave, say, this year, this would keep it together until 2024 when all the teams' contracts ends. Like, I'm sure everyone will be trying to get out at that point. So yeah, let me know what you guys think is the most realistic scenario, and let me know which one you would like to see most. These are just ones I thought off thought of off the top of my head. So let me know what you guys think of them. If you guys have a better scenario, comment down below. I'd love to read them. And yeah, that's all I have. I'm going to be live on Twitch tomorrow night around 9-10 p.m. So yeah, go check it out. I'll link it down below in the description. And I'm going to be trying to post a lot more content as football season is getting ready to come up. So yeah, subscribe if you're new. Road to 500 subs. Drop a like, comment down below. It's been your boy Danny, and I'm out.